Hey everybody, welcome back. So we're this particular video this is actually part two of managing your emotions. So there was a previous one, we were talking about managing your emotions, and we were basically just kind of talking about what emotions are, how we how they work in our relationships and different things. And so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Dream Company Movement. You can actually go check that out. But this is actually part two. So we're going to be talking about how to fight and forgive. How to fight and forgive. So we talked already about, again, emotions are not meant to control you. Let me do a quick recap. So emotions are, excuse me, an instinctive state of mind, right? That derive from circumstances or relationships with others, right? They're instinctual. You don't think about being angry and then become angry. That's basically what that's saying. It's like someone does something that provoke anger. It's like it surfaces, and so it's an instinctive state of mind that is based on circumstances and or relationships with others. Now, when we talk about and then, of course, emotions are meant to inform you and not control you. So the reaction is based on how you are interpreting the information that you're being given, and therefore it's very subjective. And so so that means, using that same example as I used before, if someone does something that provokes anger in me, I may be my reaction is based on the information I'm getting, and I may be misinterpreting their intentions. And even though I misinterpreted what they were doing, the anger was still real. So even though later on I might find out that they didn't mean what they said, or I just completely took it the wrong way, the fact is the anger I felt, the emotion I felt, was still real. So emotions are subjective. So we have to be very, very careful not to allow them to control us, but to just inform us. If we're angry about something, we have to start asking questions about, like, why are we angry? Where did that anger come? And so that way you can be what we call, emotionally intelligent, and you're not just flying off at the handle. So we talked a little bit about forgiveness and healing in the last particular video about emotions, and how forgiveness means to just cancel a debt. It's not about feelings. It's about pardoning. It's about releasing from guilt or obligation. And then, of course, healing comes from forgiveness, but healing is different from forgiveness. If I can forgive you and still feel hurt, and so by what you have done or something you've said, and so I have to go through a process of, if you've betrayed my trust, it's like we have to earn that we have to build that trust again, build our relationship again. It's like, but the forgiveness already took place. The healing comes after. So very important. Again, that's just a small recap. If you want to see the whole video, please go check that out on our page. So let's talk about our foundation principle. I always give you guys a principle for the lesson. Today's principle is fighting, because we're talking about how to fight and forgive. Fighting is a normal part of healthy relationships, right? Fighting is defined as a confrontation or a struggle. Now, healthy confrontation opens the door for new information and perspectives. And so what do I mean by a healthy confrontation? It's like, confrontation does not, when you think confrontation, some people think physical fight, like an actual violence. But confrontation could just mean, I'm exposed to something you think or how you feel. I'm confronted. It's a confrontation, right? So a healthy confrontation is just opening the door for new information and new perspective. It's like, I'm listening to you, and so I'm confronted with what you value and what you feel and what you think, and now I'm exposed to that, and so now I can gain an understanding about where you are coming from based on that confrontation. So again, that's a normal part. Now, confrontation only becomes unhealthy when emotions are not properly managed. So again, going back to what I was saying before about flying off the handle. If I misinterpret something you say, or maybe I didn't misinterpret it, but the fact is I respond in a way that is negative and that is harmful to the other person involved, or the situation itself, then that's when the confrontation becomes unhealthy, because now you will say and do things that you either don't mean or you meant to do, but now the consequences of what you did are bigger than you really wanted it to be. You know, it's been blown out of proportion, whether it's a fist fight, whether it's an argument, whether you said something that was disrespectful or hurtful. You know, we do a lot of things when we become angry or hurt, and so confrontation, that's when it becomes unhealthy. But the actual fight, the actual, you know, you and I going back and forth and debating, and you know, it's like, this is how I feel, this is how you feel, well, I believe it should be this, I believe that doesn't have to become something that's full of anger and hate like we see in the world today. It's like, just because I disagree with you, I have to hate you. That's not real life. That's we kill that narrative. It's like, that's not what it's about. It's like, I can hear what you have to say and respect your beliefs and respect how you feel and understand them without hating you and without demeaning you and without disrespecting you. That's unhealthy confrontation. That means you're basically a bigot. And I know that sounds strong, but I mean, ultimately, when you want to harm another person because they don't think the way you think, that's really the definition of bigotry. It's like you're so that it's like, I know everything, what I feel is right, and I'm gonna make you feel like you're wrong. And if you don't feel like you're wrong, it can escalate to other things, which of course we see in our world all the time. So number 2, foundation principle, understanding. In order to, of course, have healthy confrontation, we need to understand what is being communicated. So I already kind of touched on this. You can't have healthy confrontation if it's based on a misunderstanding. So, you know, I'm married. I've been married for almost 15 years. And so, you know, sometimes my wife has said things to me that have upset me, and I've said things to her that have upset her. And then later on, we realize that she didn't mean the thing that I thought she meant, or I didn't mean, you know, so vice versa. The fact is, we cannot move forward if there's a misunderstanding. Understanding has to be established. Healthy communication requires understanding. It's like, if you meant this, but that's not what I got, then our conversation, our exchange is going to be pointless, because I'm going to be arguing this point and you're going to be talking about this point, and we're not talking about the same thing. And so that has to happen in order for there to be a healthy confrontation, you know. And, you know, again, if you know, something does go wrong, you know, learn how to pardon the person by, look, I don't know everything, you don't know everything, we're not perfect. I can just decide to say, I'm going to release you from that obligation that you have to always say the right thing or believe what I believe, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Number 3, everything must be said and done in love. Okay, so love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious, not boastful or proud or disrespectful. It's not self-centered. It's not easily angered. Doesn't hold grudges. Is happy about the truth. Protects. It trusts. It hopes. It perseveres. The idea I'm giving you, obviously out of the Bible here, these characteristics of what speaking in love looks like. If I'm going to say I'm speaking to someone in love, I can't speak to them in a boastful or an envious manner. I can't be proud. I can't be disrespectful. I can't disrespect someone and say I'm speaking in love. I can't speak out of me being self-centered and say it's out of love. You know what I mean? If I'm not able to acknowledge and respect the other person's viewpoint, that's me being self-centered. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you're focused on what you want and what you want only. That's being self-centered. It's like you're telling them how you feel, but you're not speaking it in love. It's like everything has to be done in love if we're going to have healthy confrontation, healthy fights, you know, because it's like, oh, there's, you know, we don't want to fight in our relationships, and we don't want everybody ever to fight, want everybody to get along all the time. False, not real. It's like, you're going to have conflict. You're going to have people that you disagree with. You're going to have people that have different perspectives, different beliefs, different values. We do not have to hate because we disagree. I'm going to say that again. We do not have to hate each other or harm each other because we disagree. It's like, there's a way for us to fight and forgive. There's a way for us to have confrontation without it and debates without it becoming unhealthy. And so, bringing it back to the forgiveness part, it's like, again, it's not about emotion. Like if after doing all of these things, after having an understanding of what the other person is actually saying, understanding that, you know, it's like being confronted with someone else's viewpoint is not an attack on me. It's just the confrontation is just, again, we have to be open to other people's perspectives. Even after I've spoken things in love, we can still have a misunderstanding. We can still feel hurt or angered by what someone else has said. But we still have to decide, hey, you know what? Life is too short. I'm going to make a decision to forgive you and keep it moving. It's like we have to, if we can't fight and forgive, then all we have is fight. And that's why our world is in the condition that it's in now. It's like, because we won't take the next step and acknowledge, hey, you know what, we don't agree, but that's okay. That's that forgive. That's that it's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like what you said. I don't agree with what you said, but it's okay. I feel wounded by what you said, but it's okay. You know what I mean? We're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it going. Life is too short for me to keep dwelling in these hurt feelings. It's like, no, it's okay. You may not even, the person that you're forgiving might not even want your forgiveness. That's okay. It's like, the forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. It's like, I mean, you have to learn how to connect that to this. Like, once you get into that debate, once you communicate, once you get the information, and however you feel about that information, if you feel wounded, if you feel hurt, if you feel angry, whatever it is, because obviously you don't need to forgive somebody if they say something you like. So we're talking about being angry. We're talking about feeling hurt or wounded. It's like, when you have those emotions, make a choice. It's not about how you feel. It's about choosing to forgive. And I choose to release this person from not agreeing with me. I choose to release this person from saying things that were harmful to me intentionally. Why? Because I have to live my life. I have to be able to go and not carry that on my shoulders. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to fight or have confrontation or disagree with people and still be able to forgive and keep it moving. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to have a very stressful life. And that stuff can make you sick. It can make you ill in your body. You have to learn how to forgive. You have to learn how to fight and forgive. Have confrontation and say, it's okay. Let's keep it moving. It's like, life is too short. That's it, family. So if you have any questions, please, or comments, drop them in the comments section. If you like this, just share it on your page, whatever. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, or I guess you seeing me for the next video, because I won't see you. But thank you guys for tuning in. Talk to you soon.